So what is a zombie? There are the obvious telltale signs, like rotting flesh, slow staggered walk, bad posture, slurred moaning. If you're walking and happen to encounter someone with these traits, you are likely looking at a zombie, something to be feared, avoided, and run away from. These creatures, who look human, seem to be lacking what most humans possess and what allow us to identify with them: a soul. They are literally a walking corpse, their souls having vacated their bodies, which continue to roam the world, seemingly without any significant purpose. But is this really all that different than most of the population? The zombie has been a mainstay in the culture for decades. While there were some earlier incarnations in Haitian folklore, mostly having to do with voodoo, the modern incarnation of the concept of what we collectively recognize as the zombie was introduced by George A. Romero in his classic film, Night of the Living Dead. In that film, the zombies were presented as a random, sudden occurrence, and culminated in a group of lone survivors banding together to keep the horde at bay. Romero's film jump-started the zombie phenomenon, but besides the inventive filmmaking, there is nothing particularly groundbreaking in Night of the Living Dead story-wise. The characters are also fairly basic in their depictions. So why did Romero's film become such a cultural phenomenon, the ripples of which can still be felt today? A key moment in Night is toward the end, when the husband of the surviving family is shot, his daughter shown eating bits of his flesh, and eventually attacking her mother. The horror in Romero's film is precisely indicated in this scene, for it is not the zombie horde from the outside that is most dangerous, but the scuffles that arise from the out-of-control emotions of the humans and their eventual destruction at their own hands. The daughter in this scene is almost an afterthought, an extension of what's already been occurring in the house. She is just finishing the job everyone else started. This striking moment is at the heart of the zombie phenomenon, and why Night of the Living Dead became such a breakout hit. Movies are hits because people can relate to them. In this case, the zombie boogeyman is oh so relatable because the monster is us. It is a reflection of humanity. Romero would take this basic concept and explore it with much greater sophistication in the next film in his Dead series, and undoubtedly the most popular, Dawn of the Dead. Dawn takes the basic survival amongst the zombie apocalypse theme and brilliantly transports it to a shopping mall. Besides being the perfect place to hunker down during an apocalypse like this, as there is plenty of food and entertainment, that is the very thing that makes the movie so intellectually rich. The zombies are attracted to the mall like the moth is attracted to light. They can't help themselves. It is an automatic gesture, and a very succinct reflection of their behavior when they were alive. The shopping mall represents the central hub of the zombie mindset, rampant consumerism and all the comfort to the human mind it offers. But this comfort is a trap, for it distracts people from the very real and very scary implications of how easily they are controlled by corporate advertising, selling goods most people don't need in order to profit from human gullibility. These zombies are not in control of their own urges. They roam the world without a purpose, consuming other humans who are not doing what they do. The shopping mall is the inevitable conclusion of their existence. The conflict between the alive and the undead in this mall is a visual metaphor for man's own battle with his base, subconscious urges. In that sense, it is a perfect metaphor, maybe one of the most perfect in all of cinema. And isn't it ironic that one of man's last refuges from being consumed by the horde is a place where they once practiced the very consumption they're now afraid of? The mall in Dawn of the Dead acts as a giant mirror into the mechanics of the human thought process, and zombies the ugly, flawed reflection of humanity. And yet, with all these intellectual nuances, the movie is full of action. The great thing about genre films is they allow audiences to enjoy the spectacle of chaos without feeling preached to about its thematic subject matter. Genre films are generally looked down upon by Hollywood. Popcorn flicks, they're called. These films are not taken as seriously as some of the more dramatic and art house fare, but some of the best movies of all time are genre films. They give us a good time while sneaking in certain complex thematic ideas. They allow filmmakers to build entire other worlds, to titillate the human imagination, while including intelligent themes and ideas. genre filmmakers are able to have their cake and eat it too. The brilliance of Romero's Dawn of the Dead is the action and genre elements act as another layer of complexity amongst the film's themes. Mindless action is part of the brain-dead zombified state in which consumer culture expresses itself. Romero's action is a comment on the human being's willingness to forgo thought for a rush of dopamine. It is just another tool in Romero's clever bag of tricks. This acts as another mirror in a sense, much like the mall is a mirror for the human psyche. For the people watching Dawn, the action, even the screen on which they're consuming this movie, becomes another mirror reflecting their own shortcomings back at them. Dawn of the Dead represents the pinnacle of the zombie concept. Other films would take the zombie and push it in a more action and suspense-oriented direction, with the zombies being little more than rubber stamps onto films that need a hook in order to fulfill a studio's bottom line. While there's nothing wrong with making money, I get the feeling Romero was disappointed in the direction a lot of these films took. The zombie is an important concept now in our collective folklore. It deserves to be treated with respect. While it pays great homage to the earlier Dead films, The Walking Dead, in a sense, almost misses the point of Romero's creation. Serialized television, with its seemingly never-ending run of episodes, is another form of the rampant consumerism Romero parodied in his earlier films. While people get great enjoyment out of seeing one of their favorite monster creations every week, it is too easy to poke fun at extremely ironic implications of a horde of masses mindlessly consuming the very thing that was supposed to represent a warning about mindless consumption. It is hard to say where the zombie concept will evolve to from here. Like the vampire and werewolf, two other complex monstrous creations that seem to be misunderstood and taken for granted by Hollywood, the zombie also seems destined to be endlessly assembled, packaged, and shipped out for ritualistic consumption by the masses. But unlike the vampire and the werewolf, the zombie is a relatively recent phenomenon, and as such is probably much more indicative of humanity's eventual fate, if we don't wise up and get our act together. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe button, as I'll be posting more content in the future. Thanks for watching.